Here we go. Just need to edit this. Cool. Just need to check it's done, and I need to finish my notes. It'd be nice if it showed up that I was live, so I could check it, but because I like to get my ugly mug off the thumbnail if possible. Here we go. We're still going. Still on. Is this working? I cannot tell if this is working or not, which is not good because I've left it a bit late today. Okay, no, there we go. I think it's working. Great. Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. Third time's the charm, hopefully, for me to get my fucking coursework done. But here we go. Everton hosting Arsenal at Goodison Park, of course, for Everton. They're running out of games here at Goodison, which means that they are running out of time to create some more magic moments. Arsenal will hope that they will not be on the receiving end of one today. Apologies if I don't preview this brilliantly. I'm a little bit behind on my notes and I need to just jot down this team news, but I will give it to you as I get it because the Everton lineup and the Arsenal lineup have been out, of course, for the last hour. For Everton, Jordan Pickford is the goalkeeper. He's, of course, been an England international for a few years now and ever present in this Everton side. The back four is Jake O'Brien, James Tarkowski, Nathan Branthwaite. Is it Nathan Branthwaite? It's not. Jared Branthwaite and Nathan Patterson. I've got that one horribly wrong. Apologies there. The midfield is Idrissa Gana Gueye, Tim Arubanum, and Abdoulaye Doucouré with Iliman Ndiaye, Harrison, and Beto up top. The Arsenal lineup is as follows: David Raya in goal, Lewis Skelly, Saliba, Wright, and Kiwior is the back four. That is, of course, following the news of Gabriel's injury. Mikel Moreno, Jorginho, and Declan Rice is midfield three, with Sterling getting a rare start alongside Ethan Nwaneri and Leandro Trossard up top. Those are the two lineups. Kickoff here is a couple of minutes away. Just finish my notes and we'll be ready for the live commentary. Ooh. Horrible running out of time. Jack Harrison. And then Beto, outstanding. Got all them down now. It's just important for me to have all of these notes in front of me so that I don't do what I did last time and call someone the wrong name for the whole blooming game. Because that would have been very, very bad. Indeed. 2 minutes to go here until kickoff. Of course, Mikel Arteta's side, second in the table. Title race a couple of months ago was on, but as we're running out of games in this Premier League season, you feel that they have now completely slipped away. They would need Liverpool to do something quite catastrophic if they had to get anywhere near the Premier League trophy today. The likes of Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Partey, and Tierney all on the bench for Arsenal today. Alexander Zinchenko in there as well. So an interestingly changed lineup for Mikel Arteta. Obviously, a couple of them are enforced because of Gabriel being out and their lack of a centre forward. Obviously, Kai Havertz has been out injured for a little while, so Trossard is getting the nod up top. Saka scored in his return last week, but he will have to wait to be introduced from the bench once again, as does the captain, Martin Odegaard, who is out of the squad. Right, just need to jot down Arsenal. David Raya. Ben White. I knew it was Jakub Kiwior. Lewis Skelly. God, I'm disorganised. Declan Rice. Interesting. Jorginho has been given the armband today. I think again, Arsenal have a couple of captains out injured. The referee is Darren England. Glad that I've caught that because that means that saves me a bit of research. And Goodison Park is getting ready here to get underway, which is good. Just draw my timeline out. Name numbers. Right, here we go then. Everton get the game underway, and I actually finished my notes just in time as well, which is good as Jordan Pickford sends the ball long for Everton. 90 minutes of Premier League football here, getting ready to be unfolding in front of our eyes, and the game already sets the tone with Everton winning an early free kick off some Arsenal pressure. Harrison being bundled down towards the halfway line. An early chance actually for Everton to load the box here. They've stepped forward quickly. The official is Darren Fletcher. No, the official is Darren England. The fourth official is Darren Fletcher. It's an unnecessary, complicated couple of Darrens for me to get my head round today as Tarkowski now joins the group of Everton defenders coming up for this set piece. It's Everton 0, Arsenal 0, 45 seconds on the clock, and Everton have the chance to load the box already. It's swung diagonally by Harrison. It's headed by Saliba. Patterson recovers on the halfway line. Idrissa Gana Gueye hesitates and goes back to Jordan Pickford. He's been pressured by Moreno. It's a huge mistake from Pickford already. Nwaneri has an open goal if he can find it. My goodness me. And Everton have recovered. Pickford completely forgets the ball, gets pressed out by Moreno. Moreno slides it to Nwaneri. Now here's suddenly a chance for Arsenal. Nwaneri's block. Oh, it's all going on here. Everton, horrid start. They're really not letting me settle down into this at all. First, Gana Gueye went back to Pickford a bit casually. Pickford was even more casual, trying to play a quick pass. He missed the ball entirely. Moreno squared for Nwaneri. The pass was just behind him, so he couldn't find the open net. Then from the following chance, Nwaneri recycles it out wide. Ben White cuts him back, and there was a huge chance for Raheem Sterling to smash from about 8 yards. It was blocked really, really well by Branthwaite, and Arsenal have had 2 open goals in the space of about a minute here, and Everton cannot believe what is going on. It is Everton 0, Arsenal 0, 2 minutes on the clock. It could be 2-0 to Arsenal already. A long ball up the field from Everton now. Can they get their heads into this game a little bit? As Gana Gueye looks down the right-hand side for Harrison. He's stood up by Lewis Skelly. Harrison's cross is deep towards the back post, and Ben White will deal with it. Iliman Ndiaye was pressing out, and it'll go out for an Everton throw about 20 yards from goal on the left-hand side as it's taken quickly to Doucouré. Now, Idrissa Gana Gueye, Senegalese international, 35 years of age, 40 yards from goal towards the centre, goes out wide to Patterson. Now here's Harrison. Back to Tarkowski. Branthwaite, who's not far away from the England setup, you feel, but has been snubbed on the last couple of occasions. He's been a real Rolls Royce for Everton in the last couple of years in steering them away from the dreaded relegation places. Jordan Pickford goes for a long ball, and it eventually goes out for a throw-in as we get a look at David Moyes on the touchline. And he's overseeing a good season so far for Everton as Arsenal can break down the right-hand side. Trossard looks to put in a low cross, and it's headed back well by O'Brien and claimed by Pickford. And Everton, not the sort of start they would have wanted. They thought they'd set the tone well with that early free kick, but Arsenal went up the other end and should have scored 2 goals, really. A huge opportunity. Just a reminder, the ball went back to Pickford. He then was so casually trying to clear the ball. He didn't realise the ball had rolled away from his boot. He sliced it about a yard to his left And Moreno squared for Nwaneri to have an open net, but the ball was behind him. Then from the following chance, Sterling had a shot that was blocked off the line. And Everton somehow survived, as it looks like a heavy challenge there on Ethan Nwaneri from Patterson. And Arsenal will get a throw in on the touchline just inside their own half. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. 4 minutes on the clock. And this game might just settle down into a rhythm soon, but for now it's still a little bit frantic. It's great for the neutral. But those Arsenal and Everton fans in the ground, particularly those Everton fans, will want this game to just settle down a little bit as Ben White will get the ball back into play with this free kick. Beto standing eagerly, hoping that Ben White goes short and he can maybe make some pressure. And actually, Everton are blocking Arsenal in quite well because Ben White still hasn't taken this free kick. And in the end, he's going to leave it to be taken instead by Saliba. Now, Jakub Kiwior. Lewis Skelly with a lovely piece of footwork that leaves Jack Harrison on the ground. Now, worked out wide to Sterling. He's driving towards the corner of the penalty area. Looks to play a inside pass to Moreno. It's blocked by O'Brien. And then Sterling's second attempt is blocked again by O'Brien, this time for a corner kick. Good work from Raheem Sterling, looking to try and revive his career somewhat. It's been an awkward last couple of years for him, ever really since leaving Manchester City. He's not quite found his footing somewhere. And Arsenal, truth be told, hasn't been the place for him, really. Hasn't been able to find the net on too many occasions. But a goal here could really help revive his Arsenal career with a new season coming up. He'll have an eye on England place, potentially. Thomas Tuchel might have half an eye on him as Declan Rice swings a corner in and Beto miscues his header slightly. It will go behind for another Arsenal corner. He got up and leapt with the intent to put this away from goal. And I think he ends up catching it almost his shoulder or the back of his head and goes out for a corner. Arsenal, the leading scorers from corners this season. They've scored 2 more than anybody else. 11 goals this season, corners from them. They would like to make it 12 here in front of Goodison Park crowd. It's in again. This time, Pickford punches clear. Iliman Ndiaye's header is about 20 yards away from goal as Sterling looks to recover to Rice. Beto put himself about and winning the ball back. Idrissa Gana Gueye with a nice fake to find Tim Irabuna. He's challenged by Lewis Skelly fairly, and William Saliba, of all people, has it out on the right wing. He goes inside. Here's Declan Rice. Looks for Sterling down the byline, looks to square it across, and Branthwaite clears away. That was half a chance, potentially, for Arsenal. Sterling's movement to the byline was good, but he had no one making a run into the 6-yard box. In the end, Branthwaite took no chance in leaving it for Jordan Pickford and instead hooked the ball clear himself. Team was a bit all over the place there for Arsenal. Saliba was on the wing. It was Iliman Ndiaye and Beto putting in defensive work. And in the end, the ball nearly was squared to, I think, Lewis Skelly in the penalty area, the left back. So this unorthodox Arsenal approach almost paying dividends. Everton get the ball clear. It's Everton 0, Arsenal 0. 7 minutes on the clock at Goodison Park with 4 more Premier League fixtures coming later today as well. This is the first stop of what will be a blockbuster weekend. A throw in towards Harrison in the middle of the park. Here's Iliman Ndiaye, who's wriggled away. Looks for Beto in behind him. Beto could make it here. Beto could be one-on-one with David Raya if he can get the shot away. He's closed down by William Saliba. Back heel into the place of Doucouré. Back to Beto. Blocked again. Doucouré pressuring, and Mikel Moreno is the man who's going to recover possession. And it's away by Jorginho, only as far as O'Brien. And all of a sudden there, it clicked for Everton, and Beto almost got himself one-on-one. They had a throw in about 40 yards from their own goal. It was a lovely bit of skill by Harrison. Ndiaye played the pass to Beto, and he couldn't quite get it out from under his feet. And in the end was forced wide by William Saliba. But Everton proving they can battle on the counter-attack. It was a clever back heel in the end, actually, from Beto that released Doucouré, but then he couldn't get it out of his feet to get a shot away. And in the end, Arsenal hooked clear. 8 minutes on the clock, 0-0. Saliba watching Beto closely as a long throw comes into the box. It evades any Everton heads and is away by Saliba. It's put back in towards the back post by Patterson, and then Miles Lewis Skelly just about beats O'Brien to the ball, and it'll go for an Everton throw in, 20 yards from goal, left-hand side of the field. Beto makes his way over, followed by Saliba again, as Everton may line up a long throw. Instead, no, they go quickly to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Now back to Tarkowski on the halfway line. To Branthwaite. Gana Gueye receives under pressure and almost won back by Declan Rice, but he just about evaded the challenge. Idrissa Gana Gueye. Now here's Pickford. Back to Jarrad Branthwaite inside. Again to Gana Gueye, and he's just eased off the ball by Jorginho, the referee. Darren England has perceived that one as a foul, and Everton have a free kick as it's taken quickly by Branthwaite and switched early to O'Brien's cross. Sorry, stutter over my words there, because O'Brien's cross nearly released Beto with his first touch. It would have been an outrageous ball, but it was headed away by Saliba. And now here can come Leandro Trossard. Looks inside for Declan Rice. Can't find the Englishman's feet. And now Everton can go away with Doucouré. Doucouré on the right-hand side, looking to slow play down a little bit. Just, again, take a second. It's his attempted pass into the feet of Ndiaye is blocked. Now here's Sterling. Iroegbunam gets a toe in. It was a casual pass by Sterling, but in the end the ball fell back in place. And here at Goodison, I believe a moment's applause honouring Kevin Campbell, an ex-Arsenal and Everton player, of course, and round of applause going around the round and a couple of flags as well in a nice moment here in the 9th minute of this game, the ex-number 9 for both players, as the ball is switched out to Sterling, 35 yards from goal, left side of the field. O'Brien is standing him up, and Sterling goes back to Luis Skelly into Mikel Merino, the Spaniard, out wide to Sterling. A cross could potentially be on. Instead, he goes to the byline for Merino, who could cut it across, and Branthwaite heads it behind for a corner. Arsenal, when they do make the movement like that, they look really dangerous at times. Mikel Merino has been really dynamic, as what he doesn't bring in terms of being an out-and-out centre-forward, he seemingly makes up for in his dynamicness, as he's able to move across the front three, drop in a little bit, link up play. This time it was him at the byline looking to cut it across. And for a man that seems to be deployed at number 9, you'd maybe want him receiving the cutbacks rather than playing the cutbacks. But it's a testament to his work rate that he gets into those positions, as Arsenal have another corner. It'll be taken by Rice. It'll be right-footed from the left-hand side. It's swung in towards the back post. It nearly went all the way in, and it was actually a really important header by Branthwaite. Pickford gives him a huge pat on the back for that. It was a deep corner, and I think Pickford had been caught out. Looking on the replay, I don't think it would have been sneaking in, but it was a really important touch from Branthwaite to maybe take it away from Kiwior at the back post. 11 minutes on the clock, Everton 0, Arsenal 0, and Declan Rice makes his way over to assist in Nwaneri for taking this corner. I think it will be Nwaneri to take it. Rice is offering the short choice, but in the end he's spun away, and it'll be placed and taken left-footed by Nwaneri. Be delivered again. This time is towards the back post. Again, it's a free header. It's blocked. It's rebounding all over the place. It could be Kiwior. Blocked for Sterling, and now Beto could charge around the counter-attack, and it's good defending actually by Sterling. Across into the back post towards Kiwior. He had a free header, but he couldn't get it through the crowd. It was blocked, and it nearly fell back to him again. In the end, it was taken off the toes of Sterling by Beto, but then Sterling muscled it back away to deny Everton the chance to counter-attack, and David Raya's attempted long ball goes straight out for an Everton throw. And 12 minutes on the clock in this game, still goalless. And for Arsenal, the intensity's been there. For Everton, the intensity's been there, but neither side have really been able to produce any real quality in the first 12 minutes of this game. It's been a little bit scrappy. Everton with arguably the biggest created chance of their own, but of course in the first 2 minutes of this game there was that horrible mistake from Jordan Pickford that almost allowed Nwaneri an open goal, but the pass was just behind him by Moreno, and Everton survived as the ball is in the middle of the park with Jorginho, the Arsenal skipper. He clips it out wide to Raheem Sterling. Those two were opposition in the Euro 2020 final, of course, but now they're teammates for Arsenal here in 2025, as Sterling pulls at the shorts of Harrison, who'd recovered the ball, and that'll be a free kick to the home side in just outside of their own box towards the right touchline, which Everton will get moving quickly with Branthwaite. He looks for a long ball. It's blocked by Moreno. It'll fall in space to Iliman Ndiaye. He can't wiggle away from Nwaneri, and that's a nice incisive pass into the middle of the park for Jorginho. He looked to release Sterling. It was blocked well by James Tarkowski, and Patterson looks down the line for Beto to chase, but William Saliba will seemingly mop that one up, and he does. Back to David Raya. Saliba missing his partner in crime, Gabriel, of course. He came off injured in the victory against Fulham last week, but still in his own right an elite level centre-half, and he will bring composure to Kiwior, who's alongside him. He's filling in today. Also, Jurrien Timber missing with injury as well, so a weakened Arsenal defence for sure, because Lewis Skelly is in at left back, but then the other players around there, arguably not the first choice other than William Saliba. Ben White at right back has been preferred, or has not been preferred over Jurrien Timber recently, but he's been given a run of starts in this game as Arsenal give away a throw-in, and it was off the nose of Mikel Merino. Harrison looked to flick it over his head towards the halfway line and didn't get enough height on his flick, and in the end it caught the Spaniard right on the nose and went out for a throw-in, and he's just been taking a few seconds, seeing some stars potentially, and once the go-ahead is given, Everton will restart with a throw-in on the halfway line. It's 14 and a half minutes on the clock. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Biggest chance of the game was for Ethan Nwaneri inside 2 minutes. Everton in their own right, half a chance through Beto down the line, but he couldn't quite create a shooting opportunity as Arsenal have given away another free kick, and this one is in a much more dangerous area than the one earlier on in this tie. Doucouré broke down the right-hand side, and it was a challenge, I think, by Miles Lewis Skelly. This one about 22, 23 yards from goal, just outside the penalty area, towards the right touchline. So it will definitely be an opportunity to cross the ball into the box, and Jack Harrison will be the man given the opportunity to swing this one in. He's in little bits of conversation, I think, with Idrissa Gana Gueye, but Idrissa Gana Gueye has moved away, and Iliman Ndiaye has now come over. It was placed by Harrison. It should be Harrison, unless Everton have got any trickery up their sleeve. Branthwaite and Beto will be obvious targets in the box, as will James Tarkowski. Of course, he's already got a goal at Goodison Park this season, a very famous one against Liverpool earlier on in the season in the last minute. It was a lovely finish there as well, as Harrison will swing this ball in. It's missed everyone. How has that not gone in for O'Brien? What a miss. Idrissa Gana Gueye's header towards Iliman Ndiaye. Here's Ndiaye again, pressed by Sterling. Can he wriggle through the gap? Sterling away, and Arsenal survive. But what a chance that was, and what a miss that was from O'Brien. The cross from Harrison was absolutely perfect. Everton have won the ball back here inside the own penalty area. Here's Doucouré. It's a good interception by Declan Rice. A man has gone down off the ball here after a collision with Beto. I think it might be Kiwior. Just getting a look at this chance here. This ball in from Harrison is absolutely fantastic. I think it's flicked at the front post by Irabunum. And O'Brien, I think he's moved just too far past the ball, and all he can do is actually chest the ball back across the face of goal. But he had a tap in there, and he just didn't time his run properly, and the flick maybe just took it away from him. And just seen a replay of this incident here. I think nothing in that. Ben White has gone down rolling off the ball, but has hardly been touched, and VAR certainly will have nothing to say about that other than play on. A frantic few minutes. Both sides have given the ball away inside their own penalty areas inside the opening 17 minutes of this game, and it will be a throw into Everton once the game replays. Actually, I think a yellow card is going to be given to O'Brien for his reaction to Ben White, but a free kick hasn't been given, which means it wasn't a foul. So Jake O'Brien is booked. He's on a yellow card, the number 15, the Irishman, but it is still going to be an Everton ball here. And he will just have to be careful, the Everton defender, as a red card in this game could be disastrous for them indeed. As eventually we will get back underway with this throw in here. The referee having plenty to dissect. Now he's going over to talk to William Saliba, I think. And Tarkowski has been battling. And the referee reminding Tarkowski that there are cameras everywhere and they're watching. And he will not be afraid to give a free kick, I'm sure, down in England if Tarkowski and Saliba continue their jostling here. I think he maybe believes the Englishman is more the culprit as the long throw eventually comes in by O'Brien towards Tarkowski. It's won by Moreno, only as far as Harrison back into the box. Rice then heads it away. It's Branthwaite. It's a bit of head tennis in the middle of the park. It eventually drops forward to Jorginho. Declan Rice looks to sweep it to Trossard. He plays a lovely first-time ball out to Ethan Nwaneri. Ben White is overlapping. Ethan Nwaneri comes inside to Jorginho, who cuts back outside and goes to Rice, 25 yards from goal towards the right-hand side. Here's Ben White, back to Rice. Back to William Saliba, and a brief moment of intensity from Arsenal, but they've slowed it down now with Saliba, who's looking for a pass. He goes back to Rice. Rice goes back to Kiwior, just inside his own half now. 19 minutes on the clock, still goalless in this game. Lewis Skelly, can he be the man to unlock this Everton defence as he looks to drive forward? It's out wide here and then back inside to Lewis Skelly as Arsenal's pressure was good. Gana Gueye and Beto have now sprung onto it, and David Raya almost gives the ball away himself. He took an extra touch, and Idrissa Gana Gueye's pressure was good, but in the end he manages to flick a pass through to Saliba. Now here's Sterling. Wide to Trossard, back to Sterling on the overlap. He cuts inside past Harrison. Nice footwork, and he believes he was shoved by O'Brien. There's no foul given, and Harrison can play the ball off Trossard for an Everton throw-in near the corner flag. And that's good defending from Everton, and it's well watched by the referee. Sterling maybe just going down a little bit too easily. He was under pressure from 3 Everton defenders, but maybe took the opportunity to hit the floor rather than being shoved to the floor. He didn't really have many other options, in fact, Sterling, but got to be cleverer than that if you want to win the free kick in the Premier League. And Everton will win back possession via a throw-in. It's towards Iliman Ndiaye, up to Beto, who's muscling himself about up there as Idrissa Gana Gueye has misjudged the flight of the ball, and it'll fall to Trossard. Irabunum protecting well, but it's going to be given as an Arsenal free kick because Idrissa Gana Gueye was adjudged to have lent too far into Trossard before trying to win the ball back off him. The ball was looped up into the air, and he inexplicably let it bounce. And after seeing the replay, the referee has got that one badly wrong because it was a fantastic challenge from Idrissa Gana Gueye. But nevertheless, the ball's long towards him. He let it bounce. Trossard nipped in. It was an excellent sliding challenge, or lunging, sliding sort of challenge. In the end, both men ended up on the floor. I don't think that was the intention. That maybe is what sold the referee to give the free kick. But on the replay, it was nothing but ball. And Arsenal have a free kick in a shooting position about 25, 30 yards out, maybe. Just off to the left, the English international Jordan Pickford is setting up his wall. There are a few Arsenal bodies in the box looking for a rebound, potentially if it will fall as well. But Rice and Nwaneri stood over this. An arm raised by Nwaneri, and he looks to clip it to the back post instead of going for the shot, and it's over everyone. And Trossard will look to recover. Here is Leandro Trossard over to Saliba. Rice, nice one-touch football from Arsenal with Jorginho as well. In the end, it's Saliba on the overlap who chops inside of Patterson and leaves him on the ground. Now here's Ben White out to Kiwior, who looks to deliver to the back post, and it's horribly overhit. And the Arsenal defence that were playing some neat one-touch football there. In the end, it was one too many passes as the centre-half Kiwior with a horribly overhit cross, and Pickford will restart from a goal kick. Still 0-0 here, halfway through the first half. It's been Arsenal probably the more likely to score, but Everton in their own right have posed plenty of threat. And as things stand still in the balance, a draw will probably be a good result, you'd feel, for Everton. For Arsenal, if they are to keep putting pressure on Liverpool, they would like a victory here as the long ball is up towards Beto. He wins the flick, but there's no Everton bodies around him, and David Raya will hoof the bouncing ball long. Branthwaite's header towards Ben White in the end, and he can hook down the line towards Trossard, but he's going to be headed by Tarkowski only as far as Idrissa Gana Gueye, and the referee has, I think, spotted an offside against Trossard as he challenged for the long ball against Tarkowski. So Everton, once again, will have the free kick, and it'll be taken by Jordan Pickford. And Everton might take this opportunity to just get the ball out of their own half and try and start playing in front of Arsenal a little bit more. They, in the last few minutes, it's been a little bit frantic inside their own penalty area, and they would maybe like just a couple of minutes to settle down. Trossard not too happy with that decision, but of course the decision is final, and Pickford now is just double checking with the referee down in England exactly where to put this ball there. And there's a bit of room out wide for Harrison if Pickford will look for it, but you'd imagine this might go down the line towards the big body of Beto. Pickford furious about the placement of his players. In the end, he launches it long. It's up towards Beto. It's going to drop for Tim Irabunum, out wide to O'Brien, inside to Harrison. He's forced backwards by some good Arsenal positioning to Idrissa Gana Gueye, who's given the ball away here. It's good pressure. Here's Trossard, and suddenly for Arsenal, this is a 3-on-3. It's Trossard, White, and Nwaneri. Trossard looks to go low. Now he's outstanding defending from Branthwaite. He comes across, makes a huge sliding challenge in his own penalty area. It was a mistake by Idrissa Gana Gueye. Rice's pressure was really high. Trossard just a pass never quite opened up for him, and he tried to go alone. Branthwaite read him like a book, and an excellent sliding clearance. And for Arsenal, another opportunity potentially wasted as Everton now win the ball back high. And suddenly the counter-attack could be on for them as Idrissa Gana Gueye leads the charge. He has Iliman Ndiaye and Beto with him. Looks in behind for Iliman Ndiaye. Finds him. Here's Ndiaye. Out wide to Idrissa Gana Gueye. He's got Patterson on the overlap. He can find him. Goes inside to Ndiaye again. It's Ndiaye blocked. And only fall as far as Trossard. He's pressed by Irabunum. Sterling loses out to Doucouré. It's great pressure from Everton. The intensity is high. Here's Jack Harrison. Right-hand side. 20 yards from goal. Looks to put across to the back post. Is Iliman Ndiaye pulled down by Ben White? The referee says no, and Iliman Ndiaye, an interesting gesture he makes there. He points to his badge and mouths something along the lines of, because it's Everton, it's not. He believed he was pulled to the floor. The replay suggests, I think he was a bit wishful in that, but it was a good counter-attack from Everton. It was really good work from Ndiaye actually to come away with possession, because Idrissa Gana Gueye's passing to him wasn't great the first time, and then he wins it on the second time, and his shot was blocked by Kiwior, but it was really bad from Sterling to give the ball away to Doucouré. And David Raya looks long, which O'Brien will shield and then look to hook away. Moreno's header. It looks for the moment as if Declan Rice is further up the field than Moreno. Moreno was allegedly the number 9, but Rice is operating that spot at the moment as the ball is hoof long and will be gathered by David Raya. Arsenal have seen more of the ball in this context. It's been 60-40 in favour of them in terms of the possession stats. But after 25 minutes, they haven't been able to register a shot on target against Jordan Pickford. There was a blocked shot. It came in a frantic opening minute display as Jordan Pickford made a huge mistake, forgetting the ball, and Moreno could square for Nwaneri. The pass was behind him, and in the end, it eventually fell back to Nwaneri on the cutback, and it was blocked by Patterson. That ball probably would have been going in, but didn't make it as far as Pickford's goal because the Everton defence stood firm. It was a really big opportunity for Arsenal, but they couldn't quite get over the line as Beto has needlessly tripped the ankle of William Saliba, and that will be a needless Arsenal free kick to give away inside their own half, but 35 yards away from goal, from their own goal, as Kiwior will get the ball moving quickly to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Back to Kiwior. Now French international William Saliba looks to clip it out wide to Ethan Nwaneri, but it won't find him, and Patterson will be able to restart with a goal kick. There is another game going on at the moment, and it is there are a couple of games actually going on down in the Championship, and it involves 2 out of 3 of that big Champions League top 3. Burnley and Leeds both live as things stand, and neither side are winning. In fact, Leeds United shockingly losing away to Luton Town. Luton 22nd in the table as things stand. They started today 23rd and 3 points adrift of safety, but a goal by Jones, the wide midfielder Isaiah Jones, has given them the lead after half an hour against Leeds United. Coventry took the lead against Burnley as well, but Burnley got themselves back into the game through Jayden Anthony. That game is tied at 1-1. West Brom and Sunderland is latest score 0-0 as well. So Luton beating Leeds 1-0, Coventry and Burnley drawing 1-1, and West Brom and Sunderland drawing 0-0, and Sheffield United, who haven't kicked a ball yet, the top side in the Championship. This will be an outstanding day for them if results can stay the same. They travel to Oxford United at 3:00 in the Championship. As Ben White has a throw in, he's just encroached into the Everton half, but will then go back into his own half to find William Saliba, who goes back to David Raya as he was under pressure by Beto. Raya just organising his pack. Here's Moreno receiving the ball in the 6. He's been all over the place today. His pass was almost loose, but Trossard recovered it well to tow it to Jorginho. Gana Gueye pressing, and Timo Rabunam gets a foot in it, almost deflected in behind for Beto. It was an awkward interception for Jorginho with his boot up high, but it did in the end stop the Portuguese from getting in behind. I must say it's been an excellent showing from this Everton midfield so far. Doucouré, Rabunam and Idrissa Gana Gueye, other than the odd mistake, have been able to squeeze and press really, really well, and they've won the ball back high a couple of times, and their pressure in the end forces Arsenal to go long, and the throw-in is in the way of Everton because the ball was straight out of play. And Mikel Arteta doesn't look the happiest on the touchline with how this game's gone so far, but he has plenty of heavy artillery to bring off the bench. Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli, Zinchenko, just to name a few that are all on the bench, who are typically first-team players you'd expect when the team is fully fit. They're plagued with a couple of injuries at the moment, though. Arsenal, as this Everton press is set off again with William Saliba poking wide for Nwaneri. Back to Ben White. Saliba again, and he's been at the heart of everything that's happened so far, really, William Saliba. As he looks long to Moreno, surely the flag will go up. It seemed he was a couple of yards off, and it does indeed go up after a few seconds delay, and Everton will win the free kick. And Mikel Merino, at the start of this move, he received the ball in between the two centre-halves to collect it off David Raya. A couple of seconds later, he's a couple of yards offside because he's made a piercing run through the heart of the Everton side that wasn't quite found in time. It's really interesting to watch him deploy as a striker. It's in the most complimentary way I can say it. It's almost like an under sixes game where he's sort of just all over the pitch, popping up everywhere, trying as best as he can to get some time on the ball. It's been really energetic to watch, and as unorthodox as it is, if it's anything's going to happen for Arsenal, it may well come through him, as the long ball is won by Irabunam. Now here's Patterson. Iliman Ndiaye, he's been tricky for Arsenal to deal with so far. Now Branthwaite out wide to Irabunam again. The young midfielder signed from Aston Villa over the summer for a couple of £1 million, as he's made a good interception off Ben White. Now Irabunam has space down the left-hand side. Cross, I think, has taken a deflection, has it? No, it will go straight for a goal kick. It was an awkward cross then from Irabunam. Maybe caught his standing foot because the cross certainly didn't have a usual shape on it. He won the ball back off of Ben White and drove towards the byline, looked to try and cross it to the back post. And I think his left foot played the ball off his right foot and out for a goal kick. So Arsenal will restart. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Half an hour on the clock. And an intriguing affair. It hasn't felt much like a 0-0. Feels like a goal has been coming in this game. It's been definitely more energetic than some of the other ties that I've had to watch in my time. It's Arsenal who will have a throw in. And I think for Arsenal, it's a compliment to them, the fact that this game has been so energetic, because when you see teams, bare bones with it, Everton are 15th in the table. When a team that are chasing Champions League and like to dominate the ball play against a side that are a bit lower in the table, you sometimes expect it to fall into a little bit of a slow rhythm, but Arsenal have tried to inject pace into the game where they can. It's been a refreshing watch as Jorginho looks to release Kiwior in a bit of space to step forward. He looks to Marino. It's intercepted by Tarkowski, only as far as Lewis Skelly on the halfway line. He's brought down by Idrissa Gana Gueye, and he's made a couple of fouls now. Needs to be careful. Idrissa Gana Gueye, this time just a late snap at the recent England international, Miles Lewis Skelly, of course, scored on his debut as well. A lovely finish in his first game. Not many players can say they scored on their England debut when they're in their teens, but Miles Lewis Skelly can definitely say that with his chest, as Patterson and Nwaneri are battling. Nwaneri looks to go down the byline against him, but he runs out of grass, and it will go out for a Everton goal kick. It was a long ball up to Nwaneri. He took it on the outside of his boot really well. Patterson got physical with him. He looked to just toe it down the line and use his pace to get round him, but as previously said, just ran out of space on the field, and Pickford will have the ball on a goal kick. And he's pressured by Sterling, and he hasn't looked too confident, Jordan Pickford. He's made a couple of rash decisions with the ball at his feet, including that big mistake in the opening couple of minutes. But in this game, 4 shots, none on target. Arsenal definitely should be in front with that chance in the opening few seconds. Oh, there's a bad touch actually by Nwaneri, but then an even worse touch by Tim Irabunam, who I don't think realised that Ben White was hot on his tail. He took a heavy touch down the byline and jogged to try and catch up with it, and Ben White came over and just towed it out for a throw-in, as Patterson will get the game back underway from there. He has Branthwaite to his right if he looks to go backwards. Gana Gueye is now showing Arsenal looking to track their runners. About 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side of the ball so far. In towards Beto in the penalty area. Now Iliman Ndiaye takes over. Back to Patterson. The cross is on towards Beto. It's won by William Saliba. Gana Gueye gets up, and it's a bad flick by Idrissa Gana Gueye. And now Sterling and Trossard can drive forward. It is a 2-on-4, but if they can get this right, they have a shooting opportunity. Here's Leandro Trossard. Looks to get to the byline. It's Trossard. It's 1-0. Leandro Trossard with a beautiful strike. He's found the bottom corner in style. Jordan Pickford's beaten. It's the first shot on target of the game. And it's Arsenal 1, Everton 0. And it's Leandro Trossard with it. It was Sterling on the breakaway. And the travelling Arsenal fans are wild celebrations because they've needed to be clinical where they've had these chances and they haven't been so far. But Leandro Trossard has ruthlessly dispatched this one. It came from an Everton chance. It was a big mistake from Idrissa Gana Gueye. He got up and mistimed a jump horribly, flicked it backwards, which Sterling gathered. He played it into Trossard and O'Brien wasn't tight enough and Trossard just used him as a shield and played it left-footed, hard and low across the ground, way past the grasp of Jordan Pickford and into the side netting. It's a really clever finish from the Belgian international. And it is Arsenal 1, Everton 0. And David Moyes has his head in his hands because he knows that they have been so good at times, Everton, and they've made a big mistake and been caught on the counter-attack by Arsenal. It's Idrissa Gana Gueye who will hold his hands up, but it is Arsenal who are in celebration. It's Everton 0, Arsenal 1, 34 minutes on the clock. But here's a good chance for Beto straight away, and that should have been 1-1. In the end, it goes for a corner. Arsenal absolutely fast asleep off of the kickoff. Patterson plays a ball down the line that's curving inwards, and it's sort of stood and watched by Arsenal. Beto ends up with half a shooting position, and his shot, he looks to almost half volley it across the face, and it's, I think, blocked behind for a corner. Tarkowski steps up into the area to try and get his head on this, but Beto, he's been all over the place, and nearly just by chasing a loose ball, almost got Everton back level in almost record time, it feels, as the corner is now going to be swung into the front post towards Beto. It's claimed by David Raya. Counter-attack could be on for Arsenal, but Raya instead tells Arsenal to slow things down. 1-0 to the Gunners. Leandro Trossard, the goal scorer. And Mikel Arteta, without so many of his key men today, he's got his squad players showing up and standing up and being counted when they were needed to. Sterling with a big part in that goal. He hasn't had too many parts to play this season, but given a chance to start today, and he led the charge on the counter-attack after Idrissa Gana Gueye's error. That's an error in the box. It's Beto through the legs of David Raya. Can he square it across? Oh, goodness me. It's at times hard to watch this Everton attack. Patterson with lovely footwork. Out wide to Iliman Ndiaye. Looks to cross it across. It's blocked. Out of nowhere again, Everton almost created their own energy. It was Beto again at the half. He is absolutely wonderful to watch, Beto. He is organised chaos. Ben White gave the ball away to Abdoulaye Doucouré, and then Beto ended up flicking it through the legs of Raya, but then slipped over before he could square it for the open net. The ball was then hooked away. It was won back by Everton. Patterson with a lovely bit of footwork, chopping in between two challenges, and then his pass out wide to Iliman Ndiaye ended up forcing a corner because Ndiaye's attempted cross was blocked, and now Ndiaye will take a corner. But Everton, really, I can't decide whether they want to win this game by a couple or lose this game by a couple, because everything they're doing is so frantic. It's presenting Arsenal with chances, but it's just as much forcing absolute chaos in the penalty area. Ben White's misjudged the long ball. It's only given as far as Ethan Nwaneri. Iliman Ndiaye wins it back. Harrison's crosses into the box. Oh, it's a free header. That could have been a goal for O'Brien. He holds his head. There might have been a collision of heads. It was a wonderful cross, this, from Jack Harrison. And it was just ahead of Beto. It was a bad flick by Ben White. Iliman Ndiaye took it off the toes of Nwaneri, who was supporting. It was crossed into the box wonderfully by Harrison. Beto couldn't get his head on it, and it fell to O'Brien. He should do a lot better. I don't think he's expecting it. And then I think on the follow-through, he sort of awkwardly foreheads the top of the Arsenal defender's head. Both men are down. I believe it's Mikel Moreno. Of course it is down. He's been absolutely everywhere so far, as previously said. And 37 minutes on the clock, just a bit of treatment for both players. Idrissa Gana Gueye deep in conversation with, I believe that's Jack Harrison, as he went up in the air for a header, ended up taking it off the head of Branthwaite in the middle of the park, just so eager to win the ball back. It's what I'm saying about this intensity of Everton. Idrissa Gana Gueye has covered 10, 15 yards to challenge for a header, to keep the momentum, timed his jump horribly wrong, flicked it for Sterling in behind, who finds Trossard, and Trossard does the rest with a finish. It's intensity, it's energy, it's willingness to win the ball for Everton. But some would call that naivety, because an experienced head of Idrissa Gana Gueye. Remember, 35 years of age, been playing in the Premier League for 10 years now, in and out. Had a brief spell, I believe, with Marseille in the French league, but was brought into the Premier League by Aston Villa in their relegation season in 2015. Flash forward to 2025, and he's still playing in this Everton side. It's 1-0 to Arsenal, 39 minutes on the clock. David Moyes enjoying this Merseyside sunshine while we wait for treatment for both these players. Of course, it was a clash of heads, so no rushing, no chances being taken from either medical staff. It looks like O'Brien is okay, but Mikel Moreno has stayed down, clutching his head, and he's receiving a little bit of treatment. And Mikel Arteta does not want another injury, because Mikel Moreno is barely a number 9 in his own, but what he is Arsenal's closest thing to a number 9 right now. And if he's taking a serious whack to the head, you won't want him up top trying to win headers and put himself about. So a decision maybe will be made by Arteta, depending on his health, of course. Deep in conversation on the touchline with his assistants is Mikel Arteta. But I believe Mikel Moreno will be fine. The new sporting director of Arsenal, Andrea Berta, watching on. Wonder what he thinks ahead of this summer window. Arteta has dropped a few hints that there might be some money spent by Arsenal, but where that money will be spent remains to be seen. Of course, Moreno is now sitting up, just having a drink, and I'd imagine this game will be getting back underway in a few moments. Just last checks, possibly, of him. I think they're just dabbing a little bit of blood, actually, from in his hair. So I guess where O'Brien looked to try and head on the follow-through is probably headed the top of Moreno's head and caused a small cut. But players have played on from worse. Doesn't mean they should have. As we have a little bit of a standstill in this game now. It's been a couple of minutes of just waiting for the Arsenal number 23 to be okay. Everton 0, Arsenal 1, and we approach added time. Plenty of things to ponder for both managers at half-time. David Moyes in particular, I would love to be a fly on the wall in his team talk, because there's been so much good from Everton so far, but everything that has been good has almost spurred on the badness that has happened, because their intensity and their energy has been really high in this half. But the goal came from over-eagerness and naivety in the middle. And if they perhaps slowed things down a little bit, they would still be on level terms in this game, but they are not. They're a goal down, and with 5 minutes before half-time, Moreno finally gets his way to his feet, and he makes his way to the touchline to be reintroduced in a few seconds. Don't believe a substitute is being readied, so once the standard procedure of waiting a few seconds after treatment is up, he will be reintroduced into the field of play, and we might have a little bit of added time at the end of this first half. And Mikel Moreno is joint second top goal scorer for Arsenal, alongside Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka. Of course, both those players have had a few injured. Kai Havertz is their top scorer. He's also out. So Moreno, the only one left of their most prolific forwards. Leandro Trossard is only one behind, though, and he got one today, as well as Idrissa Gana Gueye has gone into another challenge and given away another foul, and he can't be too far away from a yellow card. He's made a few late challenges. This time it was on the goal scorer, Trossard, just trying to nibble and win the ball, ends up kicking through the ankle of him. Now it's Trossard who's decided to lie down on the ground, and it was always meant to be. It's been a really intense and exciting game, which means that, of course, the last 5-10 minutes had to slow down and be rubbish, because players have gone down left, right and centre. Trossard is cradling his back a little bit, but he is back to his feet, and we're back underway. And hopefully we can have some football in the 40s in this game, because so far, with 43 minutes in, and the last 3 minutes have just been treatment for Moreno and Trossard, as Raya with the ball in his own box to his right centre-back, William Saliba, who is pressured by Beto and nearly gave the ball away. Raya over to Kiwior. He looks wide to Lewis Skelly. Back to the Polishman, Jakub Kiwior. Looking for an option here. This Everton press is high, and Kiwior goes back to Lewis Skelly. Back towards Raya. And Everton are doing a really good job here at forcing Arsenal to play in their own penalty area, a place that they won't be too comfortable. Jorginho was in a brief moment of space, but Everton pressed him out. Now he can take the ball and drive, as Arsenal have beaten the high press. Jorginho clips it out wide to the left-hand side towards Trossard. Has Moreno in the middle and Lewis Skelly supporting him. Trossard can go alone, fakes to go right, goes left instead towards the byline. Now 25 yards away from box with Lewis Skelly, Jorginho, William Saliba. Can Arsenal double their advantage at the end of the first half? Here is Ethan Nwaneri. Looks to cut inside and put a cross in. It's blocked by Iliman Ndiaye. Now Abdoulaye Doucouré, Branthwaite, Tarkowski. Now O'Brien looks down the line towards Beto, but he wasn't going to make it up to that. And so Arsenal will gobble the long ball up. Saliba. Now back with Lewis Skelly, and Arsenal looking to try and take the sting out of this first half. They've kept possession well in the last few minutes. Trossard is found in a little gap, but then the ball is worked back towards Kiwior. Now here's Trossard again into Jorginho, back to William Saliba, and Arsenal. None of these passes are taking place in the Everton half. They're just keeping possession and trying to tire Everton out a little bit. The back four, plenty of touches in these last few minutes. Beto is waiting patiently for something to feed off. Kiwior almost lost his footing, but was able to recover and find Ben White. And now the ball down the line from Nwaneri. And Arsenal have turned defence into attack because Nwaneri is running towards the byline, looks to cross it across, and it goes straight out for a goal kick. Jordan Pickford was covering his near post, but it was nowhere near. And so patient that Arsenal build up and all of that for the ball to be launched out for a throw. It's going to be 6 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. 6 minutes. I'd imagine it would have been about 1 minute until we hit the 40th minute. And then since then, there's been a lot of change around. There's been a couple of goals in the Championship. Leeds have got themselves back level against Luton Town. Dan James with the goal, and away from home at the Hawthorns, Sunderland on that long trip. Their fans have something to celebrate there. 1-0 up. Trihume is the man with it. And Sunderland at one point looked like they might have been part of the automatic promotion race. If the teams around them could drop a few points, at the moment results are going their way, they might be able to sneak back in there. They are only 7 points adrift right now, but 15 points clear of sixth place Coventry and 18 points clear of West Brom in seventh. West Brom losing a little bit of ground in their hopes to finish in the playoffs as things stand, but still 45 minutes to go in that game. Coventry 1, Burnley 1 is a latest score, as is here at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. And Nwaneri has the ball about 40 yards from goal on the right-hand side. Ben White. Now to William Saliba. To David Raya. Into the 47th minute of this game now. Raya looks to go long towards Rice. It's won by Tarkowski, then by O'Brien, then by Tarkowski again. Moreno wins in the middle of the park and looks for Rice. Tarkowski again in the way, and he looks to find Beto, but Jorginho intercepts, and Saliba will go to Kiwior. Out wide to Trossard, just into the Everton half now. Jorginho looking to protect possession. And Arsenal go back home once again. And the Everton side just starting to get a little bit frustrated, I think, here. The game has really changed in intensity since that Arsenal goal. Everton still look frantic when they have the ball. And the ball down the line here actually is towards Trossard. And he could be one-on-one. It's a good challenge. It's blocked. It could ball for Declan Rice. It's blocked again. And Arsenal out of nowhere, one long ball. And I said Everton were getting frustrated, but they'd overcommitted massively because one long ball saw Trossard one-on-one. His touch wasn't good enough and Pickford closed him down. Rice had a chance on the rebound, but it was blocked. And Arsenal, they're proving that they are going to punish Everton if they aren't patient. Everton have won the ball back with Idrissa Gana Gueye. And Doucouré and Gueye run into each other, and Beto then snaps at the heels of Mikel Moreno, and that's going to be an Arsenal free kick. And another few seconds on the floor for Arsenal. Trossard has gone down again and is readjusting his shin guards, I think. He got one-on-one. His touch, I think, came off his shin pad, which might be why he's readjusting it. There was a challenge by Tarkowski that he didn't get any of the ball. Trossard jumped over Tarkowski's legs, but if he hadn't have jumped over Tarkowski's legs and instead of ran into them sort of thing, it would have been a stone wall penalty and maybe even a red card for denial of a goal-scoring opportunity because Trossard was clean through one-on-one, but because he stayed honest, he couldn't get his shot away in time, and Declan Rice on the rebound, wasn't at a good enough angle to place it into the open net. Tarkowski closed him down quickly and made the block. But for Arsenal, they almost scored in the first minute of this game with an open net. They almost scored in the last minute of the first half as well. We're into the final few bits of this additional time of the first half here. Remember, the first 2 minutes of this game, Pickford with a huge mistake. Arsenal almost punishing Ranieri with an open net. The ball was just behind him. We couldn't quite squeeze it on target. Then from the following cutback, it was blocked off the line by Patterson. Then just then it was Trossard one-on-one, saved by Pickford. The rebound was an open net for Rice, and Tarkowski closed it down and blocked quickly. The goal for Arsenal was scored by Leandro Trossard, the only goal of this game. Arsenal, 1 goal to the good. Up. It was a mistake from Idrissa Gana Gueye in the middle of the park. Raheem Sterling drove forward, found Trossard on the left-hand side, and he drilled it hard and low into the bottom corner past Jordan Pickford. And Arsenal would love a second goal just before half-time, but Sterling is dispossessed by Idrissa Gana Gueye. Now here's Beto looking to step inside, goes back to Tarkowski, and last chance for Everton to move up the field in the half. Here's Timi Rabunam out wide to Iliman and Jai. He looks for Idrissa Gana Gueye, who is just about able to keep possession, and it'll be a Everton throw-in. It'll be taken quickly by Patterson to Branthwaite. Out wide again to Patterson, about 30 yards from goal towards the left touchline. Now here's Jared Branthwaite. Tarkowski into Timi Rabunam, and he can drive forward. Beto is making a run in behind. Rabunam chooses not to use the pass and instead protects possession. Goes out wide to his fullback Patterson. Idrissa Gana Gueye. Now Iliman Ndiaye. Can he try and force an angle to cross? He plays a 1-2 with Idrissa Gana Gueye. Iliman Ndiaye will go for it, and it's inches over the bar. It wasn't a bad effort at all from Iliman Ndiaye. David Raya confident it was going over, but he had to be careful. Iliman Ndiaye, he's been a dangerous player, and David Raya had to be careful. He cut inside and got his line right, just didn't quite get his length. The ball just over the bar. In the end, it was actually more like a couple of yards than a couple of inches. The angle was a little bit deceptive, and David Raya will watch that carefully over his bar. And the first half here will be brought to a close in just a moment. We've played 6 of the 6 minutes added time. It's Arsenal 1, Everton 0 at Goodison Park, and an intriguing 15-minute team talk incoming for both David Moyes and Mikel Arteta as David Raya launches the ball long, and there is the halftime whistle. Everton 0, Arsenal 1, and down to the Championship. Coventry 1, Burnley 1, Luton 1, Leeds 1, and West Brom 0, Sunderland 1. So I'm going to take 15. I've got some snacks to eat, and I'll come back for the second half, and hopefully there'll be 5 minutes in here that I can use my backing coursework. And the second half is getting back underway. I've had my break, refilled my drink, blah, 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 blah. Oh. Actually, a full start kickoff to get the game going. Hopefully that isn't a start as you mean to go on, because I don't think Darren England's watch was quite ready. I think there's been some substitutions at half-time, which are certainly interesting for Arsenal. This is news that they, I think, would have liked to hear. For Everton, maybe not so much, because Bukayo Saka, I believe, has made his way onto the field, and just give you full talking. Jesus Christ, I'm meant to be a commentator, and I've just gone like that. There's a long ball, and David Raya came out and completely missed it, and then Beto completely missed it, and then Ben White completely missed it. Whole while the goal is wide open. Everton not able to punish. Beto is chaotic at best to watch. Long ball towards Harrison as he been pulled down. It's a penalty to Everton. It's a penalty to Everton inside 45 seconds here in the second half. Lewis Skelly has pulled Jack Harrison down after a long ball. Unbelievable. A long ball over the top. The first time it was missed by everyone, and Beto would have had an open goal. Everton recover possession, play it long again. It's towards Harrison. Harrison has one arm over Lewis Skelly's shoulder, but then has he leant into Harrison and taken it down? It looks like Harrison has got round Lewis Skelly. I think the contact starts outside the penalty area. It's certainly one for VAR to dive deep into. But as things stand, Everton have a penalty kick inside 45 seconds of this half. And there's plenty to look at here for VAR. The captain, Tarkowski, has come over to try and settle things down. The long ball came over the top. Harrison was the wrong side of Lewis Skelly. Managed to go round the outside and get to the right side. Had an arm on Lewis Skelly's shoulder. Lewis Skelly then sort of leans into Harrison, ends up wiping him out in the penalty area. It's whether the contact started outside, whether the foul was made outside, and whether they maybe believe that the pull on Lewis Skelly might have been enough for it to be a duel rather than a foul. But it looks like the penalty has been confirmed. And Iliman Ndiaye has the ball in his hands. Beto is around there as well. He'll have been asking the question. David Raya coming out to play mind games, and he's been quickly intercepted by Darren England, the referee today. Jorginho, I think he's going to receive a yellow card for his protests as well. And a penalty kick for Everton inside the first 2 minutes of this second half. Iliman Ndiaye is going to be the man to take it. He's against David Raya. I think Jorginho might have got a yellow for trying to scoff the penalty spot, because Iliman Ndiaye has been trying to fix it as he places the ball down on the spot. David Raya watches intently. Ndiaye has scored all 4 of his last penalties. He's gone left twice and right twice. David Raya will no doubt know that. He'll have done his research. Which way will the Spaniard go? Ndiaye stands opposite David Raya from the spot. The Senegalese international, 25 years old, Iliman Ndiaye. He will take this penalty right-footed. He looks composed. He looks ready. He takes a deep breath in and takes a couple of steps away in front of the Everton faithful. It's Ndiaye against David Raya. Ndiaye steps up and scores, and it's 1-1. And Everton, a couple of minutes into this half, have got themselves back on level terms. It was a bit chaotic. It was a bit scrappy. The penalty came from nothing. But Iliman Ndiaye has waited for David Raya to make his move and rolled it into the opposite corner. Raya took one little shuffle to his right, and that's all Ndiaye needed. He just rolls it to the left. It's a really good penalty. And it is Everton 1, Arsenal 1 in 49 minutes in this game. And all of that hard work in the first half from Arsenal to grind their way in front. And in just a couple of minutes, Mikel Arteta's team talk goes out the window because his side are no longer holding on to a lead. It's Ndiaye 1, Trossard 1, Everton 1, Arsenal 1, 50 minutes on the clock. And now you have to ask what the response will be. The more I look at this, the more I don't think this is a penalty kick, but Everton don't care. The game's moved on from it now, and David Raya has launched a long ball long, and it's gone straight for a throw in, which the Everton faithful have enjoyed. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Penalty for Ndiaye, a strike from Trossard in the first half as well. And an intriguing second half to come, because I'd barely taken my seat. I'd barely managed to get some words out of my mouth. And I was already having to call a penalty kick and a goal. It's Arsenal now with the possession as they hope to battle their way back in front. It's Everton who are rejuvenated, and this pressure that had brought them some joy in the first half, that caused them some issues as well, is being ramped up once more. And here is Gabriel Martinelli, who's another man who came on at half-time. The substitutions were Nwaneri and Sterling for Saka and Martinelli, so like for like on the left and the right. And here is Gabriel Martinelli on the left wing now. Kiwior into Trossard. Marino, he's giving it away. Now here's Idrissa Gana Gueye into Ndiaye. Back to Idrissa Gana Gueye. He skips round Jorginho. Now here's Abdoulaye Doucouré. He's got better with him. It could be Doucouré. Can he go alone? It's saved by David Raya at the near post. And Saliba will gather. The danger's not over yet. The ball out wide to Saka. He's under pressure by Patterson. Doucouré wins it back. Has he played it off him for an Everton throw-in? He has. And that is really, really good from Doucouré. And Everton's intensity is really causing Arsenal problems right now. Irabunum on the ball. He's dispossessed by Moreno. Now it can be Arsenal who can drive on the counter-attack here. Here's Trossard. It's a frantic start to the half. Trossard has Gabriel Martinelli with him. Uses Gabriel Martinelli just inside the penalty area towards the right-hand side. Looks to square it across. It's blocked by Irabunum. Back to Martinelli by the byline. And his attempted cross is blocked by O'Brien. It will be a corner to Arsenal. End-to-end stuff in the first 6 minutes of the second half here. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. 52 minutes on the clock. And Arsenal have a corner. There's also been a goal in the Championship. Burnley have turned it round. It's Jaden Anthony with, again, a Hasright's goal has been cancelled out twice by Anthony. It's 2-1 to Burnley. Now down in League One, Burton Albion are down to 10 men, and Wrexham, can they push that advantage and try and challenge for that automatic promotion place? A win here would be really important, especially with Wycombe Wanderers in the other game being held by Reading. As things stand down in League Two, Chesterfield and Doncaster are 0-0. Walsall have fallen miles away from it. They haven't won a game since mid-February. They're losing to Port Vale at the moment as the Arsenal corner is headed away at the near post. It's regathered and Trossard will gather the ball. Here's Jorginho to Miles Lewis-Skelly, who steps inside. The shot could be on here. It's instead laid over. It's blocked by Branthwaite as Saka looked to strike, and now the ball's launched away, and Beto will challenge David Raya on the long ball. Raya always going to win that foot race. Looks to find Saka out wide. Patterson stepped in, but Saka poked it away from him. Here is Bukayo Saka. Shoves away. Finds Lewis-Skelly. Rice is in support. Instead goes out wide to Martinelli. 20 yards from goal. Left-hand side. Looks to cut inside and play across. Instead looks to shimmy it to Rice, and it was just ahead of him, and it'll go for an Arsenal corner. Tarkowski got just ahead of Declan Rice and put it away. And for Arsenal, it's been frantic, but they're now looking to try and regain control and regain their one-goal advantage. They have another corner. They've had 4 or 5 this game. They haven't been able to make any of them pay. Will Declan Rice's delivery from in front of the Arsenal fans on the right-hand side change this here? It's still 1-1. Plenty of players in the penalty area that would like to change that. One of them is Ben White, who's colliding with Doucouré at the moment, and the referee just taking an eager look as Rice swings the ball in towards the back post. It's a half volley by Trossard. He gets it about as wrong as you possibly could. The ball balloons high and closer to the corner flag. It'll in the end trickle for a goal kick to Everton and for Jordan Pickford to take. Of course, keeping you up to date with all of the goals around the grounds today as they get underway. And in 15 minutes' time, we'll have team news of the Premier League games as well, which I'll bring you. 3 Premier League games, including a derby between Crystal Palace and Brighton, including a relegation 6-pointer between Ipswich and Wolves, and West Ham taking on Bournemouth as well. As we've seen another replay of the penalty area, and again, it'll be one that will definitely be talked about. Questions will be asked on whether a penalty was the right choice or not, but whether it was or not, the penalty was checked and cleared. And Saliba now has possession to try and begin this Arsenal resurgence. Raya turns away from Beto. Finds Saliba. Now here's Jorginho over to Lewis Skelly. Out wide to Martinelli. Will he be a difference maker off the bench? Mikel Moreno looks to find Declan Rice in the middle, but he can't retain possession, and it'll be a Everton goal kick. Quintelli never really had control of that ball as it came long. It was one of them that the ball was moving so far away from him. He could get a touch on the ball, but he couldn't really stop the ball from moving in the direction it was. In the end, he basically just ricochets it out for a goal kick as Leighton Baines and David Moyes plenty to ponder on the touchline. Moyes rises to his feet to give instructions as Jordan Pickford launches a ball long towards Harrison out on the left-hand side. O'Brien had committed high and didn't win the challenge, and now there's a little bit of room for Trossard on the left-hand side. He's forced back in field and goes to Lewis Skelly. Now Kiwior over to William Saliba. Back to Kiwior. Still 1-1 here at Goodison Park. Ball is long, and that's a nice ball towards Gabriel Martinelli if he can square it across. Here's Trossard. It appeals for offside. It's not going to be given. It'll fall back to Trossard. Looks to the edge of the box towards Ben White. Here's Saka, the substitute, coming inside. Can he get a shot away? Instead uses Jorginho. Jorginho is brought down, and that'll be a free kick to Arsenal in a very dangerous position indeed. And it was the Everton goal scorer, Iliman Ndiaye, who had a nibble. And Jorginho was definitely fouled, and he drops to the floor. And Arsenal have a really good shooting position here, and this would be a great opportunity for them to get back in front if they can take it. 22, 23 yards maybe from goal, just towards the right-hand side, sort of in line with the edge of the D. Saka and Rice over this. This is, if you were a free kick taker, you couldn't ask for much a better position, really. Somewhere, I think James Ward-Prowse will be feeling a little bit of frustration that he won't be stood over a free kick of this caliber later today in his game, but well, he still might be, but it isn't happening yet. That's bad. Gabriel Martinelli is stood in an offside position in front of Pickford. He'll have to be careful that VAR doesn't intervene with that. He takes a few steps forward. There's a 4-man wall and a man laid down as well. Moreno and Kiwior form their own wall for Arsenal to try and obscure the view of Jordan Pickford. As mentioned, Saka and Rice are over this. Trossard did ask the question briefly, but his claims were denied, and whether it will be the left foot of Bukayo Saka or the right foot of Declan Rice remains to be seen. Pickford's wall is organised. Saka takes a few steps away, as does Rice. Lewis Skelly is at the edge of the penalty area as well. It will be taken momentarily. The referee's whistle goes, and a deep breath. And it looks like it will be Bukayo Saka to try and go through the wall, and it's blocked, I think, off the bottom of Mikel Moreno. Saka's crossing on the rebound is blocked by Branthwaite. It's headed by Beto. Flicked by Ben White. Headed by Ndiaye. Beto looks to try and bring it down and run William Saliba. And that's a nice bit of football. But Abdoulaye Doucouré's touch couldn't help release Everton on the counter-attack. Beto is pressing David Raya high. Now here's Kiwior. Back to David Raya. Saliba. Over to Kiwior again as Arsenal look to drive out. Here's Trossard. Ball out wide to Saka. That's an outrageous pass. It's really, really good. Here is Saka. Saka looks to cross. It's blocked. Jorginho was calling for it at the edge of the penalty area. Here's Idrissa Gana Gueye. Now Iliman Ndiaye looking to break down the left-hand side. He's got no support whatsoever and goes down under a challenge from Ben White. And it looks as if the free kick has been given in the way of the Toffees. Ndiaye holding his ankle on the ground as he sort of ran into an avenue where there wasn't much on, slowed it down and tried to re-inject pace. And at that time, Ben White had tried to make a challenge and sort of awkwardly kicked through the side of Ndiaye. Not much intent in that for a foul, but in practice definitely is one, and Jack Harrison will have the chance to swing this ball into the box. It's too far away from to be an orthodox cross. It will be more like a floated one. He tried to steal a few yards, but the referee, I think, pushed him back. And Everton players queuing up. The Arsenal line is just at the edge of the D of their penalty area. The free kick is maybe 45 yards away. Doucouré, O'Brien, Branthwaite all in there. Harrison looks for a floated diagonal. It's towards Beto, but it won't be one. Here's Tarkowski. Now Timo Rabunam couldn't squeeze through a gap, and then he maybe awkwardly catches the foot of Lewis Skelly, I think it was, who cleared it, but no foul is given, and Pickford will put his foot on the ball and hold possession for Everton for a moment. He looks to place it towards Beto in behind. It's won by Kiwior. It's headed forward for Declan Rice. It's excellent by Iliman Ndiaye, but then he gives the ball away. But in his slipping to play the pass, I think the referee deemed that Declan Rice had actually impeded Iliman Ndiaye before he played it. And on after 61 minutes here, it will be a change for Arsenal. Ben White, who doesn't get to start too often when this man, Jurrien Timber, is fit, makes way. Jurrien Timber is the substitute to come on. And for half an hour, Arsenal have another one of their first choice defenders on. And Ben White will be forced to watch the rest of the game from the bench. Half an hour to play. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Iliman Ndiaye's penalty at the start of the half cancelled out Leandro Trossard's goal. And this game finally poised, as both teams will want a winner, as Idrissa Gana Gueye has it on the left-hand side. Here's Iliman Ndiaye. He's been the danger man in receiving the ball for Everton, and he weasels his way through a couple of challenges. That is expert dribbling. Gana Gueye takes over, looks to get into the penalty area. Here's Doucouré. Can't find a pass. Arsenal have won it back, but Harrison is pressing high. Lewis Skelly being pressured by Harrison. Lewis Skelly gets away from 1 and 2. This is good dribbling from Miles Lewis Skelly. This is a really good run from him. He's going to go all the way here, possibly. He's at the edge of the penalty area, and he's taken out by Tarkowski, and that is about as stonewall of a yellow card as you'll ever see. And the Everton captain is given one, but that is outstanding from Miles Lewis Skelly. It was really good work from Iliman Ndiaye on the left-hand side. Idrissa Gana Gueye took over, then Doucouré gave the ball away. Harrison pressed Lewis Skelly, and Lewis Skelly drove what must have been 50, 60 yards, and then got absolutely thumped over by James Tarkowski just outside the D. And if before wasn't a perfect shooting position from a free kick, this definitely is, and James Tarkowski is the latest man in the book. The Everton skipper and number 6. Maybe just a little bit close this would be. This time it's more towards the left-hand side. It's much more central than the last one. Trossard is making a serious claim to want to take this. Rice and Saka are there again as well. I wonder if after Saka's effort hit the wall, it might be Declan Rice given a go. Remains to be seen who will strike this free kick, but Jordan Pickford taking ample time to arrange his wall. There's another Everton body lay down underneath it. It's a 5-man wall, showing how concerned Jordan Pickford might be. He stands to the right of his goal. The wall will hopefully cover the left. Arsenal in deep conversation over who will strike this free kick. The whistle is blown. All 3 men, Rice, Trossard and Saka, still over it. Unclear who will take it for now. The Arsenal wall stands in its place too. That will surely disperse as soon as the taker goes for it. Rice raises an arm and goes for it, and it's saved at the near post by Jordan Pickford. He went keeper's side, and Pickford got 2 hands behind it and punched it clear. Timber now for Jorginho, gives it away to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Now Abdoulaye Doucouré back to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Can't find Beto, and Arsenal will retain possession. And both those free kicks in dangerous positions, potentially just wasted a little bit by Arsenal by not going for the right opportunity. It might have been a bit too close to go up and down over the wall, but the near post option never really was on. That's a lovely ball in behind for Saka if he can get on the end of it. But I think offside was going to be in play anyway, as we're seeing a replay of this free kick. And it's pretty central in the end from Declan Rice. If you're going to score on the keeper's side, you need that to be right in one of the corners. It's a poor effort from the England international. And now a double change for Everton to report on. Tim Irabunam is replaced. He's had an excellent game so far. And Beto as well, who has been a handful to say the least. He's off, and it's a welcome bit of play for Armando Broja. He's had plenty of injuries in his career. Gana is the other man on as well, not to be confused with Idrissa Gana Gueye. James Garner, I believe, is the Everton man. His first name. We'll just double check that my facts are right, and they are. Of course they are. And it'll be Armando Broja up top, signed from Chelsea, suffered a Achilles injury in one of his first few games for Everton, hasn't really got a chance to show Goodison Park what he's made of. And he's got 25 minutes to try and score or be a famous winner against Arsenal in one of their last games at this stadium. And Jai has got the right side of Timber momentarily. Looks to hold possession, Iliman and Jai. Is he fouled? He is fouled, and it'll be an Everton free kick. And a shirt pull from Timber is what the referee believes is the reason. And looking at the replay, Timber can't have too many complaints because Njai was sneaking around the corner and Timber had arms holding him back. It'll be a free kick about 30 yards away from goal towards the left touchline to be delivered into the box. Harrison and James Garner are over it. Broja might be a target in there, as will Branthwaite and O'Brien, no doubt. They're two big lads. Abdoulaye Doucouré in there as well. They've lost the threat of Beto, but in their place they might receive a bit more calculated threat in Broja. Beto is very much organised chaos as the ball is in by Harrison to the front post, and Trossard took no risks in putting the ball behind for a corner before any Everton bodies could challenge for it, and Everton can load the box once more from a set piece. James Garner places the ball in front of the Everton faithful. It'll be taken from the right-hand side. It'll be swung in swinging from the right boot of James Garner. All the usual suspects in the box for Everton, and I think Miles Lewis-Skelly has taken an unnecessary tumble in front of James Tarkowski. Actually, I think it's Jurriën Timber. My apologies for that, as Tarkowski and Timber having a little laugh as the ball is to be swung in now by Garner towards the middle of the box. And I think the referee has asked for a retake potentially, or has the whistle had blown before the ball had come into the box. I think Tarkowski and Timber were going at it again, and Tarkowski had two hands in the chest of Timber, in fairness, and shoves him straight to the floor. I'd be surprised if the decision here wasn't a foul in favour of Arsenal, because Tarkowski wasn't exactly subtle about it, but it could be a retake of the set piece as well. Referee explaining to both of them that wasting each other's time, it seems. Timber and Tarkowski, it'll be an interesting one to watch from this corner, and we will reset, and it will be a retake, which means that Everton get another chance to get this corner right. It'll be swung in again by Garner. Plenty of pushing and shoving going on. Again, it's towards the back post, and it's claimed comfortably by David Raya, and he looks to kick the ball long. I think it might have been impeded slightly by O'Brien, but the referee didn't see anything. That was lovely from Mikel Moreno to flick it over the head of Doucouré. Now could be a little bit of room for Declan Rice. In sliding was Iliman and Jai, and the ball is going to go out for an Arsenal throw. And, Mikel Moreno just having a couple of words spoken to him by the referee. I think we'll see here O'Brien and Raya were colliding as Raya looked to try and play the ball quickly. Nothing in that particularly, and the corner was very comfortably claimed by the Spanish goalkeeper, and he looks to kick it long. He isn't impeded in any way. The ball isn't blocked per se, but certainly O'Brien isn't in any rush to get out of the way of David Raya on the long ball, which means that he might have got away with one. It's an Arsenal throw in just inside the Everton half, and I think Mikel Moreno is being fitted with a headband. Maybe hasn't shaken off that head injury that he picked up in the first half that caused him to bleed momentarily, and in the end the ball will run for a Everton goal kick. Team news out in all of the Premier League games, and while Everton play the ball around the back, we'll bring you the news and notes. First off, in the game between Ipswich and Wolves, it's January signing Palmer in net. Alex Palmer, he's been excellent so far for them. Tuanzebe, O'Shea, Burgess, and Townsend is the back four, with Sam Morsey the captain, and Jens Kajus with Broadhead in a midfield three. Liam Delap, Julio Enciso, and Ben Johnson is the front three. And as for Wolves, Strand Larsen is given the nod up top because Mateus Cunha is not involved because of his suspension. Bellegarde and Muntesi is the front three with Andre and Gomez, a midfield two. Aït-Nouri and Semedo are the wing backs with Doherty, Agbadou, and Totti Gomez, a back three. And of course, Jose Sarr is the Wolves' first choice goalkeeper. As for Arsenal, a substitution here with Jorginho making way for Martin Odegaard, the Danishman and Arsenal skipper now. He receives the armband coming on in the centre of the park to try and unlock this Everton defence. In the game between Palace and Brighton for Palace, Henderson is the goalkeeper. Lerma, Lacroix, Gueye is the back three with Munoz and Mitchell, the wing backs. Daichi Kamada, Adam Wharton and Eberichi Eze look set to be the midfield with Ismaila Sarr and Jean-Philippe Mateta in attack for Brighton. Verbruggen, Estepinian, Dunk, Van Hecke, Hinzelwood, Gomez and Belieber a midfield with Mitoma and Minte out wide. O'Reilly will support Danny Welbeck up top, so no room for João Pedro or Adingra, who both couldn't breach the Aston Villa defence in midweek in their minutes, as Arsenal have a throw-in on the touchline towards the Everton goal, about 35 yards from goal on the left-hand side, taken by Lewis Skelly into Gabriel Martinelli. Back to Lewis Skelly being bustled into by Harrison, and Lewis Skelly's cross is not deflected, it's just badly overhit, and it will go for an Everton goal kick. The last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, West Ham against Bournemouth. Ariola is the keeper for West Ham with Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, Todibo and Oliver Scarles, the back four. James Ward-Prowse, Souček and Lucas Paquetá, a midfield three with Edson Alvarez holding behind him as well, most likely, with Kudus and Jared Bowen looking set to be the attack. No out-and-out striker on the team for West Ham. Evan Ferguson and Nicholas Fulkrug will have to watch from the bench from the get-go. And for Bournemouth, Kepa is the goalkeeper with Milos Kerkez, Huijsen, Zabani and the captain Smith at the right back with Adams, Cook and Scott, a midfield three. Antoine Semenyo and Dango Ouattara are either side of Evan Nilsson with no space for Kluivert. He's still out with a knock, and obviously the likes of Sinisterra and Tavernier out with injuries as well for a couple of more weeks. So there are the lineups, as there is an Arsenal free kick as Saka is bundled over by Patterson. 18 minutes to go, 72 minutes on the clock. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. And if there is to be a winner in this game, it might end up being a late one. Down in the Championship, no more goals since last reported. So it's Coventry 1, Burnley 2, Luton 1, Leeds 1, and West Brom 0, Sunderland 0. In League One, Reading have taken a shot lead against Wickham. Reading just sixth place in the table, but Wickham at one point looked set to be pushing for automatic promotion. It's a bad day at the office for them because Wrexham have got a couple in the last couple of minutes against Burton Albion. Means that they are 2 goals to the good up in a good game over in Wales. And down in League Two, Walsall still behind against Port Vale. Tranmere have scored a couple against Chesterfield, and Doncaster Rovers still being held by 10 men. Cheltenham, a breakthrough in that game for Rovers would be massive if they can find it, as the Arsenal free kick will be swung in by Declan Rice from the right-hand side. It deep towards Martinelli. It's headed by Patterson. And it will run all the way to a Arsenal throw-in, which could be taken quickly by Trossard. In the end, the option was on, so he's going to slow it down and leave it for Miles Lewis-Skelly, as Iliman Ndiaye has gone down with what looks to be cramp. For Everton, a point would be a good result. You would think, again, with the games running out at Goodison Park, they don't have much to play for this season. Everton but pride. They're in no danger of being relegated after the turnaround from David Moyes in January and February. But a result like this, being able to come from behind and get a point against Arsenal in their last ever meeting at Goodison Park, will be fondly in the memories. And I think Iliman Ndiaye might be actually making way here with 16 minutes to go. He was the goal scorer for Everton. Probably their most dangerous and probing attacker. And he is going to make his way to the touchline. And on comes the experienced body of Ashley Young, the man who just doesn't seem to age. Ashley Young, he's been playing for about 1 million years, it seems. Spells at the likes of Aston Villa, Manchester United, Inter Milan, and now here at Everton. It is a double sub because Patterson is also going to make way as well. And on comes Alcaraz, the young lad. He signed in January for Everton, and he'll be hoping that he can stamp his authority in this game. Carlos Alcaraz, the 22-year-old Argentinian, will come on in the middle of the park. And Lewis Skelly, he's going to make way now. He was gearing up to take the throw in, but he instead will drop the ball, leave it, and on comes Kieran Tierney in his place. So substitutions for both sides. 15 minutes to go in this game. The heavy artillery is on the field for Arsenal. Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli have all been introduced. Now Tierney as well. It will be a throw in about 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side for Kieran Tierney's first action. It will be taken long, it seems. The Scot with a long throw into the box. It misses everyone, and Pickford has to come and be quick to claim that before Arsenal body can get there. It was a challenge between Moreno and Branthwaite, and both men went up and missed it completely. Long ball by Pickford could cause problems as Alcaraz is involved straight away. Here's Broja, Doucouré. Couldn't get it under control, and Arsenal come away with possession. Here's Moreno. Lovely turn in the middle of the park to get away from Doucouré, and in the end his ankle was tripped slightly, and it'll be an Arsenal throw-in, but the pressure was high and they nearly won the ball back. Arsenal get the ball moving quickly. Now here's William Saliba to Declan Rice. And the ball will be long by Kiwior as... Oh, Trossard, has he pulled on his man? It's Trossard, he's in! What a save by Jordan Pickford! And in the end, the foul is given, but Pickford wasn't to know that. But that is an outstanding stop from Jordan Pickford. The ball was long by Kiwior. I think Trossard just pulled slightly at Branthwaite, but then he lashes it on the half volley. And Jordan Pickford, unbeknownst to him, the whistle, I think, had already gone. He flings himself to the left and makes an outrageous save, diving away. He taps his head, knowing that he was aware. In the end, the foul was given, but what a stop by Jordan Pickford. And he might be slightly aggrieved the whistle has gone, because that was certainly one for the highlight reel. As Broja is the latest man penalised for a foul as he goes into William Saliba, and the ball is with Arsenal now as Rice. Trossard dropping deep. Tierney. Saliba. Out to Jurrien Timber. Now Martin Ødegaard. Just inside the Everton half. Now William Saliba again. Goes inside, then out, looking for options. Probing is the Frenchman. Now here's Polishman, Jakub Kiwior. Now Trossard. Just inside the Everton half now. Declan Rice with it. About 45 yards, 50 yards from goal. And they're forced backwards by this resolute Everton wall. Here's Timber looking for an option. The option that he uses in the end is David Raya, because no one was showing in front of him. Now here's William Saliba to Ødegaard, who's filling in at left back by the looks of it as Timber steps up. Here's Trossard, has Ødegaard in front of him if he can find him. 13 minutes in this game plus stoppage time for Arsenal to try and find a winner, and for Everton to maybe cling on to a point and try and hit them on the counter-attack themselves. Now here's Kiwior. Saliba, good bit of Arsenal pressure this. Ødegaard, 25 yards from goal, just to the left. That's a lovely ball through the gap if Timber can dig a cross out. It looks like, has the ball gone out of play? Fourth official said no, and in the end, no. I think he did say yes, it had gone out of play, but he took his time to make the decision. Martinelli had a half chance at the back post if that ball was still in play, but couldn't quite angle it towards goal. As down in the Championship, still Leeds being held by Luton Town. It'd be a big point for Luton in their hopes of survival. It'll be a frustrating point for Leeds in their hopes for automatic promotion, and Burnley winning away at Coventry as things stand, going top of the table. As a foul in the middle of the park by an Arsenal man on Everton, and they look to play quickly, and the referee isn't happy with where the free kick was taken from. But for a moment there, Everton were one-on-one. There was a free kick just at the edge of the D on the halfway line, about 45 yards from goal. It was a tug back, and I think it wanted to be taken quickly by Garner, but he'd moved, I think, 5 yards too far forward. There's a possibility that Broja might have been offside anyway, but the referee wasn't happy with where it was taken, and Arsenal survive. And now a chance again for Everton to bring the centre-halves upfield, and Ashley Young will be supporting Jack Harrison over this ball. Young steps away. It'll be Harrison alone. It's more central than the last few free kicks he's had to take. It'll go diagonal towards the back post. It's headed by Tarkowski. Away by Moreno, only as far as Garner, and his header was away from everyone, and David Raya will have a goal kick. Still no goals extra to report about, and still West Brom being behind by Sunderland. They would need a goal at home, West Brom, to help their hopes of finishing in the playoffs. As things stand, they're going to drift 3 points away ahead of a load of 3 o'clock kickoffs today. Burnley, if they can hold on, they'll be top of the table for at least 45 minutes until Sheffield United get underway against Oxford United in London, or Oxford, just outside of London. As second half possession in this game. First half, it was 60-40. Second half, it's much more 80-20, 77-23 in favour of the Gunners. But it is Everton with the only goal of the half. Reminder, a penalty from Iliman Ndiaye 4 minutes into the half after Jack Harrison was pulled down by Miles Lewis-Skelly, cancelled out a first half strike from Leandro Trossard as he drilled hard and low past Jordan Pickford on the counter-attack after a mistake from Idrissa Gana Gueye. 9 minutes to go here, still 1-1. And Arsenal will look to try and unlock this Everton defence one more time to try and find a winner as Gabriel Martinelli comes inside. Has Moreno with him. Here is Moreno. Left-hand side of the field right now. Back to Kiwior. Now Martinelli. Inside to Trossard. To Declan Rice. Again, Arsenal trying to string passes together, pull this Everton side around and try and create gaps as Jurrien Timber looks to get around the outside of Abdoulaye Doucouré, and it'll be a free kick to Arsenal. Taken quickly and taken backwards. Kiwior. Tierney plays the 1-2 with Kiwior, who goes back then to Tierney. Now down the line to Martinelli with an awkward flick that ends up working for himself. That's a nice pass from Tierney, though. Nearly released Moreno, and Idrissa Gana Gueye came over to boot clear. Jordan Pickford comes over to shove Idrissa Gana Gueye back in line with his defence, because I think he was a little bit deeper than everyone else now, as O'Brien is having to watch Martinelli carefully. As he stood him up well and won the ball back, and the ball is launched long. It's taken on the chest of David Raya. Now William Saliba, he'll be frustrated that he hasn't kept the clean sheet today, but not all he could have done about the penalty kick, Saliba. David Raya was sent the wrong way. It was Lewis-Skelly with the foul. Here's Trossard on the left. Now Gabriel Martinelli into Tierney. He's in a bit of room. Can he pick a pass? Looks to square it across, and Martin Odegaard was arriving and couldn't steer it goalwards. Head in hands for Mikel Arteta. A wry smile from Odegaard. That was a lovely play from Gabriel Martinelli, and Tierney found the pass, and I think Odegaard maybe strikes against his standing foot and it spins away from goal. That was a big chance for Arsenal, and a big chance that wasn't taken, as Pickford now in possession of the ball. And you feel that might not be the last chance for Arsenal, but will that be the biggest chance? It remains to be seen, as Martinelli into Odegaard, but he was under pressure and he's lost it now, and could be space to run for Carlos Alcaraz. It's blocked by Tierney. It will go for an Everton throw-in just inside their attacking half, which will be taken by O'Brien backwards to Tarkowski. Jordan Pickford. His long ball is up towards Armando Broja. Here's Harrison. Looks to squeeze through a gap, but Mikel Moreno was in the way. Now Declan Rice, Arsenal, the edge of their own penalty area right now, forced back to David Raya. Doucouré is pressing, and how he would love to force a mistake out of Arsenal with 6 minutes to go in this game, tied at 1-1. That mistake doesn't come as Trossard collects in the middle of the park and goes wide to Tierney. Now Gabriel Martinelli, he's going to get the chance to run at O'Brien. Comes inside of him too easily. Here is Gabriel Martinelli. It's saved by Pickford. He'll go for a corner. Intensity from Gabriel Martinelli. He looked to turn the screw, came inside and had a chance to shoot. It was central, but it was hit with a bit of whip and a bit of venom, and Jordan Pickford just parrying it over the bar. Arteta knew that was half a chance if the ball was squeezing into the corner, but Pickford was level to it, as he's been level to a lot of Arsenal's attacks so far. Corner to be swung in. It's another corner for Arsenal. They've had plenty in this game. They've scored more goals from corners than anyone else in the league this season, but They haven't been able to get one in the net so far today. It'll be swung into the back post by Bukayo Saka. It's Timber's head that it goes off, and it'll be a goal kick to Everton. Timber wasn't best pleased with that decision, but the referee confident in what he saw. And a goal kick for Everton. Arsenal in a rush to get this game underway. Everton, understandably, not in too much of a rush, as the ball is collected for Jordan Pickford by Trossard in an act of kindness, no doubt, and nothing more. Wrexham have a third against Burton. That game is as good as over. Doncaster Rovers have scored a 90th minute winner against 10-man Cheltenham. That's a huge goal down in League Two. It puts Rovers joint third in their race for automatic promotion. A great day out for them down in Cheltenham if they can see this game out. Big moment indeed for them. As 86 minutes now on the clock. It's still 1-1 here, and Everton would love to be able to carve out one chance. They haven't got out of their own half too many times in this half. Arsenal have turned the screw and been much more dominant, as Ashley Young couldn't quite stop the ball going out of play, and it'll be an Arsenal throw-in just in front of Mikel Arteta. Dwight McNeil is stripped and ready, and I think he'll be introduced now in place of Jack Harrison. He won the penalty for Everton. Jack Harrison played a big role in their revival in this game, but in the end it was taken and scored by Iliman Ndiaye. He was taken off earlier on in the game, and in comes Dwight McNeil, who can help shore things up for Arsenal for Everton to try and beat Arsenal in these last few minutes of this game. It'll be taken on the left-hand side by the right-hand side by Timber. Moreno gathers. Pressed by Idrissa Gana Gueye, who wins the ball back. Now here's Doucouré. Can't quite squeeze it to Alcaraz, but Alcaraz has then fought and won it back. And he keeps the ball in play, but then in his rush ends up conceding possession and then giving away a free kick against Trossard. And Alcaraz is stood right in front of Trossard, not allowing the quick free kick to be taken, and he'll be given a yellow card by the referee. Carlos Alcaraz booked the number 24 Argentinian. 87 on the clock. How Arsenal would love a winner. Will it be Martinelli to create for it? He goes down to Mikel Moreno on the touchline. It'll be an Arsenal throw-in in front of their fans. It'll be taken by Kieran Tierney. It could be a long throw once again. We know he has that in his locker. Fakes to go short to Martinelli, and it looks like it will be launched into the box by the Scot. Everton will have to watch this long ball carefully. It will have an interesting shape on it because of the throw-in. It'll be taken high by Tierney. Headed away only as far as Saliba, and Idrissa Gana Gueye gets a touch. Timber having to deal with the ball. Plays a nice 1-2 with Martin Erdogan. Looks to come in field, Jurrien Timber. Now here's Tierney. Out wide to Martinelli. Cross could be on here if he wants to find it. Timber is on the overlap as well. Tierney is back towards the edge of the box. Here is Tierney. Looks for a cross into the box. It's headed and wide. That's a big chance. Mikel Moreno arrived, and I said all through the first half that if it was going to be anyone, it would be him popping up. And it's a great run to the front post. It's a free header, and he has to do better, Mikel Moreno. Arriving at the front post. Maybe Branthwaite does enough to put him off, but what a chance that could have been. And in the end, Pickford watches it sail wide gratefully. 89 minutes on the clock. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Long towards Abdoulaye Doucouré. He couldn't win it. Now here's Idrissa Gana Gueye. Everton free kick. They try and take it. A few moments ago, they tried to take a free kick quickly by moving the ball forward about 5 yards. Idrissa Gana Gueye has just watched his side win a free kick inside their half, inside the centre spot, and he's tried to take it about 30 yards from goal to slip through one-on-one. He's trying to steal about 20 yards. Obviously doesn't get away with it. The referee pulls it back, and Everton will no doubt put this ball long. Into the last minute of regulation time will be hearing how much stoppage time is in this game shortly. Might be a decent bit. There's been a couple of stoppages, obviously the penalty and a couple of substitutions as Tarkowski looks to win a corner off Saka. He isn't successful, so he balloons across straight out of play. David Raya will get things underway quickly. Kiwior, Rice stepping forward as we've ticked into the 90th minute. And the fourth official puts up just 4 minutes added on. Just 4. 4 minutes, definitely enough for there to be a winner, though. It won't be found like that because Rice's long ball towards Saka is horribly overhit, and Jordan Pickford with a smile and a little kick up before he can gather the ball. As 3.5 minutes to go. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Long ball by Pickford towards Broha. Alcaraz wins it. Could fall for Armando Broha. His Kiwior forced to clear it away, and all of a sudden Everton nearly found themselves in half a yard of space inside the Arsenal box. The Polish number 15 dealing with the ball really, really well. Everton have a throw in about 16 yards from goal on the right-hand side. It'll be launched long into the penalty area by Garner. What a smash and grab this would be for Everton. They've had 20% of the ball this half. They've scored the only goal of this half. Remember, Iliman Ndiaye's penalty. And now they could win it with a long throw into the box. It's flicked on towards Doucouré. It's only as far as Dwight McNeil, but the referee has spotted a foul in there, and it'll be an Arsenal ball. And David Raya has the ball, takes it quickly. Tierney. 2.5 minutes for Arsenal to try and win this. Down in the Championship still, Coventry 1, Burnley 2. Burnley 2, still Luton 1, Leeds 1. And Raya with a risky but pass that worked to Declan Rice for him to run onto whilst being pressured. Everton have 6 bodies in the Arsenal half trying to press high. It's long towards Tierney, who wins possession. Inside to Trossard. Has Rice with him. Instead uses William Saliba, who steps forward. Now here come Arsenal. Here's Ødegaard. Out to Saka. Can he win this game in the last minute? Inside by Saka. Declan Rice. Looks to scoop it over the top towards Timber. It's headed by Ashley Young. Only as far as Saka. He can hold possession. Now here's Saliba. Back to Bukayo Saka. Ashley Young steps in and it will go for an Arsenal corner. 90 seconds to go. The experienced body of Ashley Young wins a corner. It's full time between Luton and Leeds. Leeds have dropped points once again. Luton Town with a fantastic draw for them. West Brom still losing 1-0 to Sunderland. That game had a bit more added time in the first half, so there's still 2 minutes to play plus stoppage time in that game. We're into the last minute of this game now. Bukayo Saka with a corner, taken left-footed from the left side of the field, in swinging. There's Arsenal bodies queuing up at the back post. They're all making their movements in now towards a 6-yard box. Saka's corner is poor, and Ashley Young scoops it up into the air. Doucouré challenging with Moreno. It's Moreno who wins it, but he can't find an Arsenal head, and it will go behind for a goal kick to Everton. Could that have been the last chance for Arsenal? Moreno got his head on the ball, but didn't really have the chance to put it anywhere other than straight back up, and in the end it was shielded behind for a goal kick. 40 seconds to go. Jordan Pickford would be in no rush to take this goal kick. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Iliman Ndiaye and Leandro Trossard, the 2 goal scorers. And Pickford's long ball could well be the last action of this game. Into the final few seconds here. It's 1-1. And unless there's a smash and grab moment for either side here, it will be destined for 1-1. And Everton will get a free kick in the last few seconds as Trossard for a high boot. And now here could be the last chance of the game for Everton to launch the ball long. And Everton get a free kick. The referee, Arsenal think the game's over. The referee believes he's showing the watch over. He must have stopped it for a few seconds. We're after the 4 minutes played. One last chance to load the box. The ball was long for Tarkowski, and Trossard has completely lost his mind because he's just kicked out at Tarkowski and thankfully hasn't made contact. The Arsenal line is high. Ashley Young will be the man to send this ball long. And if Everton can win first contact here, there might be a chance for them to nick a goal in this game. Raya comes to claim, and he does claim, and that should be that in this game as he looks to go long. It's blocked by O'Brien, but it doesn't matter as the full-time whistle blows. Everton won, Arsenal won. David Moyes and Mikel Arteta shake hands. It's a good point for Everton. It's a result that Liverpool would absolutely love to see because that puts them another little bit closer to lifting the Premier League trophy. Remember, they've got a game later on this weekend. They don't play today. They play tomorrow away at Fulham. But already it's a good Saturday for the Reds, and for Arsenal, it's not a good result. It finishes Everton 1, Arsenal 1. And that concludes today's commentary.